It's a very unrealistic world out there. Hey guys, so we're going to do something a little bit different today. So I set out to take some fitness shots, right? Because when you're into fitness, and that's, I guess, what you do. And it's not unheard of to get the lighting right and do some stuff in post, like contrast, brightness, maybe a little airbrushing to make some things pop that are favorable. You know, what we see out there is people in their best shape, under the best lighting, with a pump, with post adjustments on their photos. It's a very unrealistic world out there. But when I finished editing my picture, I was like, I can't use this. It's just too much. The lighting wasn't right in the picture. I don't think I got quite as lean as I wanted to. Let me show you the picture. So this is the final product. My eyes see total shit here. This is screaming 300 vibes. My abs look airbrushed to absolute shit here. Now, to the untrained eye, someone might look at this and go, oh, that guy's ripped, whatever, you know? But there's probably a lot of you that can look at this and see that this is nonsense. But the kicker is the original picture, because that's where we started. One of the things I first noticed when I took this picture was my face. My face seemed bloated. I perhaps had a little bit too much salty pizza the night before, and that tends to show in my face, especially after like a week of clean eating. And I also looked constipated, like I was holding my breath, or just holding a shitty pose. So we went from this to this. I even thinned out my face here. Look at I mean, that is kind of what my face can naturally look like, sort of. But I mean, we're just worlds away here when you compare the two. So I decided that it might be kind of interesting for people to see what I did step by step to get to this, and I'm going to recreate this to the best of my ability, and perhaps even try and get it a little bit more natural, so it doesn't look like I just came from the movie 300. Doing myself a favor by saying that, because I don't think I look as jacked as some of the guys in 300 here. But the airbrushing looks like the airbrushing in 300. Let's get to it, right? I started off in Lightroom, actually. One of the first things I like to use this graduated filter here, and I bring the exposure way down, and it basically just gives me a dark background, right? Because this is just in front of like my blinds. So, I'm gonna try and make this fast because I don't want this video to be too long. So that's pretty cool. We'll go through, maybe adjust the exposure just a little bit. Now, I want to make an important note. I am not a professional photographer. I am not a professional Photoshop user. I just happen to have a decent camera, some lights. I got a couple little skills on Photoshop. A little bit of maybe texture to give it a slightly drier look. Clarity, again, to give it a little bit of a dryness. My skin tone, I think, tends to be a little on the orange side, so I kind of tend to bring it down just a hair. Well, just some basic stuff there. Now, here's where it gets a little iffy. So I'm going to take my brush, and we're going to do a minus 0.10 exposure. Now, from here, now I can start airbrushing stuff. Basically, any little dark line I see in my body, I'm just going to go over it, right? And you can see that they get darker. It makes them pop, because the lighting on this side especially is a little washed out on my abs. Like, if the lighting was like it is on the left side, then this picture may have come out better. It may have not needed this airbrushing, but it didn't, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just, just a guy trying to take pictures. So, but nonetheless, every little dark line that I might show, I'm just gonna go over with this brush. We're basically what's called burning. Now you can already see, look at this. Compare the two, boom. I'm gonna go with a less is more approach this time, and I'm gonna cut it there, because that looks fine. You can already see the abs popping more than on the left side. Make this guy pop a little bit more, maybe up on my chest here. Yeah. Make that a little darker, make this stuff pop. There's probably legit Photoshoppers out there, photographers, that just what I'm doing is probably blasphemy. But hey, man, sometimes you gotta get things done on your own and figure it out. From here, we are going to edit in Photoshop. Here's where things get crazy. We're going to use this liquefy. So we'll go to face shape. Let's just narrow that jawline a little bit. So that's a lot. One of the things I noticed, I'm like, I look just too mean. So give myself a little smile. Maybe not that much. That's weird as heck. There we go. A little friendlier. We're going to convert this thing to a smart object, and then we are going to do high pass filter. This is going to help bring out some of that vascularity, some of the lines of definition a bit more. Basically kind of want to find just the outline of it. So for me, I used 9.9 is fine. Just barely the outlines of everything. So now we will bring this to overlay. That's what it looks like without. That's what it looks like with, right? So let's tone that down just a little bit. So this is coming out a little bit more natural. Not as intense as this guy. Like that just seems gnarly. All right, let's rasterize this. There. So now use the burn tool and darken some more of this stuff here. Let's make this. There we go. So I'm also going to brighten this tattoo up just a bit because I went through enough pain to get this damn thing. So let's set it on fire as it's supposed to be. So just brighten these guys up with the dodge tool. Cool. Alright, that's popping a little bit. So here's the original one. Okay, that just looks fake as shit. This one looks a little bit more natural. That's a slightly better representation, right? The vascularity's popping, my abs are popping, just a hair more. We have a much more natural looking product. This one doesn't stick out to me as being so airbrushed. When you compare it to this one, what the fuck was I thinking? Anyways, guys, I hope you found that interesting. I hope you found it informative. If you want to use any of these techniques, less is more. Less is always more. So as you can see, I was able to kind of make some things pop that weren't popping for me. I was able to do it a little bit more naturally this time. It's still not ideal. Quite frankly, I'm just not using these photos. I don't think that they came out very well in the first place. Shit in, shit out. If you take a crappy photo, it's just, there's not much you can do. This is a little bit better. So anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Again, hope you got something out of it, and I'll see you in the next one.